You can now get a 30-day trial to experience The Athletic for free. Visit the link in the description below to try it now.
And they said it was half man, half lizard, half boy.
Dean Smith has left Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa have a managerial vacancy, as they say. And there are various names in contention here. As we record this, there is no one that's been announced yet. But one of the front runners, apparently, is Steven Gerrard, according to all of the reports. You've set Villa up here on the board.
Yes.
This is the last team that they played with, JJ.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Danny Ings isn't there because I think he's injured. Old injured Ings. So Steven Gerrard, as we were talking about, he's been manager at Rangers for a while. I've watched him manage for quite a while now.
And he's done a good job there.
He has done a good job there. He won the league.
Yeah.
Celtic kind of threw it away, to be honest.
Sure.
He stopped 10 in a row, which is a real thing there. Rangers don't have, they play in a certain way. It's not hugely, it's not like how you'd say Jurgen Klopp has a clear style or Tuchel has a clear style. It's not like that. It's just what he's done at Rangers apparently is raise standards to where they should be. He's brought the Premier League to Glasgow, is what people have said. It's written in The Athletic, which you can subscribe to.
Right.
And there's a guy called Michael Beale who's his first team coach, who's actually in charge of all the tactical stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what he leans on. So Gerrard knows where his weaknesses are, and it seems to maybe be tactically. So he leans on Michael Beale for a lot of that.
Which a smart manager does.
Yeah, I guess so. And the way that Rangers play is like a 4-3-2-1. So you'll have. Don't we have the players for it here? But we'll try it. So it's been like this. So rather than having wingers, what they've had is kind of inside forward.
They've had their sort of, like I think we made a video on this before, we called them the sort of 2 10s.
It's exactly what it kind of is, yeah. And it helps with blocking. When they're trying to stop teams playing through them, they can form either 2 lines of 3, or they have a bit of a gap and they can keep opposition players trapped like a hostage inside this sort of bit here. So basically teams can't play around them, they have to play around them.
A bit like a rondo.
Yeah, but they're not playing that. They're playing the actual real game.
Sure.
11v11. Now, at Rangers, the fullbacks are really important, and they have James Tavernier, who gets really high and wide all the time, so that he provides most of their width here. In fact, almost all of it. And on the other side, Borna Barisic, who hasn't been playing very well this season. Said they've had Calvin Bassey playing there. But in Aston Villa, they've got Matt Targett and Matt Cash, who are 2 very good fullbacks, and their numbers, especially last season, maybe not this season, they're key contributors of chances created and things like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of their chances were coming from these sorts of areas. And you'd imagine, based on what Gerrard did at Rangers, they rely heavily on Cash and Targett doing that. But this season at Rangers, they've been playing more of just a straight up 4-2-3-1,
right?
Which is essentially what Villa have been doing. So it's nothing really different. So the difference you'd get between Smith and Gerrard is probably maybe a renewed motivation or something like that. Right. You get new energy out of them.
Here's a question, you'll know about this, your time in Scotland, of course. Steven Gerrard in managing Rangers at the moment. Rangers are a team that presumably win most of the games that they play in the league that they're in.
They do.
Coming to Aston Villa, that will not be the case. Is that a jump that can be difficult for managers in that situation?
Well, that's one of the things I think it's a weird move, because I don't know where Aston Villa can really finish, as we discussed before. They're a mid-table team. This is a mid-table team. They've got some good players in there. Bailey's decent now and again. Buendia's all right. Watkins is half decent. Ings is a really good player. Mings is fine. Martinez is the best player they've got, the goalkeeper. So it's a strong squad, but they can't really do much and achieve mid-table. Rangers were, when you took them up, they should have been competing for the title because their budget is massive. Like, say their budget's 55 million for the year. Aberdeen's would be about 15, and they were the second best team before Rangers managed to get back up to the top. So he's built a squad well with the right kind of characters, like hard workers who meet the demands that he sets in terms of training and how much they run and whatever they want to do in the pitch. But
does the Villa squad complement that? And do you think that there are? I mean, it seems to be like they have a hard-working team, don't they?
Yeah, they're fine. This is the thing. Like Villa will probably beat teams they're better than, but the teams they're much better than are Norwich probably this season, Newcastle they're probably better than, Watford maybe. But then you think everyone else are pretty much either worse than or level with. So like the Southampton's last game, they lost that 1-0, very tight game. But there's not a huge gulf between them. That game could easily have swung either way. The thing I've noticed most of Villa this season is the goals they concede tend to be in transition. Yeah. So it's like their defensive transition is the worst part. So teams basically run at them. They concede a lot from set pieces, especially second phase as well, which is weird. But then that again is transition. So that's going from... They're stuck between attacking transition or like going from defensive to attacking and trying pushing out. But I don't know why I'm putting players on here to show anything. But it's a lot of goals. Like the goal against Spurs, you see players just running through the middle of them. They lose the ball. So because they try and open up and try and play nice football, which is what they've done under Dean Smith.
Yeah.
Naturally, that leaves you a bit open because you've got overlapping fullbacks who want to push up here, and you've got wingers might come inside like this. So naturally, you're going to leave a bit of space, especially in the wide areas here. And the Kamba and McGinn as a two, or whoever plays in the middle here. I mean, one of them might move forward and join in and stuff like that. But teams, when they turn over the ball, maybe in midfield, they just are able to run at them. And because they're then not quick enough to stop it, so if you've got all these players ahead of the ball and it turns over around about here, teams can very quickly go up the pitch and utilise the space. But a good team in transition would naturally fall into a tighter shape more immediately. And one of the reasons I think this might work for Gerrard is because Rangers was first built on not conceding goals. So their defensive record last season, especially when they won the title and were unbeaten, I couldn't put the numbers, but they had like 1 million clean sheets, and that was the same in Europe as well. They only got battered by, I think it was Bayer Leverkusen, who were just much better. So you think he'd put in a really defensive-looking team straight away, and you think he's played under managers like Rafa Benitez and Gerard Houllier, who are actually quite defensive, especially Benitez. You look at his teams now; they're really defensive, and that might be the kind of thing that he'd want to do. Fabio Capello's another one he mentioned. Again, really defensive. When I say mentioned, it's people he's talked about in a couple of Athletic articles I've read about him.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him personally.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to some of the world's best sports journalists, including David Ornstein, Daniel Taylor, Ollie Kay, Amy Lawrence and Rafa Honigstein. There are journalists dedicated to each Premier League team, so every fan gets the coverage they deserve, not just the big clubs. And you can try it for free now for 30 days. See the link in the description.